We're here at Lake Loramie, Ohio. Just set the camper up, taking our first walk. Went across this bridge and wow, maybe I should have brought a cast net. Don't know if that's legal here. Don't know what those are even. But man, there's a lot of bait down there.
On the wall, that's the birth of the bicycle. The wooden, it's called the Draisine, or German, the loft machine. And in 1815, Mount Tambora exploded over in Indonesia. Dumped the whole northern hemisphere with ash. 3 years. They were in the dark, they lost their crops, their horses. They lost their horses. They could not feed them. So, and they actually lost about 100,000 people from the ash.
Wow.
So the world just came to a standstill, no transportation. This German gentleman, Karl von Drees, invented this machine. His first time out, he traveled 8.6 miles in 1 hour. So boom, that was the birth of the bicycle. That was the bringing transportation back to the world. So as you go to the left, you'll see the evolution after he got it started, and it'll show you all the different evolutions as they added pedals, as they added brakes, as they tried to change the tire and the suspension so it wouldn't be so rough to ride. So that room to the left there will bring you up to the 1840s. There is a restroom over there and a water fountain as well. There's a small sitting area there if you want to take a break. Over here to the right, we've got from 1830 to 1890, the boom and the bust, when everybody started inventing, and then when the bottom fell out, and it'll explain why. And there's some local history in the back of this room that you'll enjoy as well. Upstairs, there's a dedicated area for bicycle racing, our nod to them, and we have a great area with oddities, weird things, weird inventions. On up, you'll have a room for the military. It shows you how they incorporated bicycles into the military. And then on up on the third floor of the ballroom goes from 2000 forward. Okay, and very interesting stuff, guys. And you're welcome to hop on and take each other's pictures. We've got two high wheels here. They were called penny farthings after two British coins, a large coin and a small coin. So you're welcome to hop on those and do each other's photos. And as you go, if you have any questions, just let me know, okay? Base of the Schwinn family collection, which was about 100 bicycles. He purchased that, and he's a New Bremen citizen, so he brought it here. And from that 100, in 1997, I believe, we've gone up to almost 1,000 bicycles.
Wow.
Now, we only have room to display 220 at a time, so we rotate the displays every 3 to 6 months. So if you're here this year, you'll come. If you come next year, you'll see different things.
So from the very first bicycle here, invented by a German gentleman who was very determined. Got all the history of bikes here. And crazy high wheelers to break your arm on. And the twin wheeler looks more elaborate but less dangerous. Big tricycle. They're starting to resemble more modern bikes. Got suspensions and pedals and chains. And there's a tandem. Yeah, the birth of tandem bikes. And more with development of suspension on the frame and on the seat there. Some of these names are great. American Hobby Horse right here.
They sure were.
And transitional velocipede. The development of pedals but with bars, not chains. And then Shire Foam Shaker. That's a great name. So examining the Victor and Victoria tandem here. And it's designed for a man to ride in the back with a crossbar and no chain guard, and a woman to ride in the front with a chain guard and a lower frame. And the rear handlebars are geared directly to the forks, and so allow steering from the back. And then the front handlebars are fixed, but they have the only brake. So it's a cooperative effort, no riding this thing solo. You can either steer or brake if you're solo. So this old Hickory Model B ladies hard tire safety bicycle. It's an interesting thing. It's got hickory wagon wheels, and it's got a hickory fender there. And the frame, the fender has actually got the seat mounted on it, so a lot sturdier than modern fenders. Lots of pieces of this were made of wood and individually crafted. There's not a way to automate that at the time. So moving out of the ancient history room and into slightly more modern bikes. We have a giant wheel that would totally enclose you, which seems crazy. Another of these bone breakers, and a wooden Winton. It's a very beautiful piece of craftsmanship. Oh my God. Got the history of wooden bicycles over here, which were hickory frame. And that one, front and rear wheels. Wagon wheels. This one gets some steel incorporated and some suspension. It's a ladies' side saddle tricycle. And, still with wooden wheels, but starting to look a lot more modern there. Williams Ferry boys bicycle. Bronco pneumatic safety. More attempts to make those of us with bony butts comfortable. And an early tandem here, where you perch basically on top of the rear wheel. Shaft-driven league bicycle. There's another shaft-driven. It's a Pierce cushion frame, so it's got a pneumatic shock there. So pretty high tech. 1890, and that was built around 1900. Another shaft-driven bike here. I guess I'm in the shaft-driven section. And then this one has leather straps that alternate to power it. Oh, interesting. Not sure what that third wheel is for, but I guess more suspension attempts. And pedals that go vertical. That's a Barnes White Flyer. So there's a new approach to a tandem. You can actually ride side by side on that tandem. And on this one here as well. Columbia Manufacturing. A Warwick Perfecto. And up on the wall they've got a triple, a real long thing. It must weigh a ton. We've got a tandem trike here with a picnic basket, double chains. And I particularly like how that seat is slung up there on springs and ventilated, so somebody with a bony butt like me. And this one here actually built springiness into the frame. So they got obscure things here. They've got these old skates, I guess, and then I don't even know what those are on the wall above it. And then because we're in this part of the world, everything has to have a connection to Neil Armstrong. So they've got some memorabilia here. And they've got handwritten things and drawings that Neil did, things that actually flew to the moon, and a case of obscure equipment like a 10 feet antenna rotator, and then down there a damper control, and here we got some coins and stones, so more military memorabilia. So it's not all just bicycles here. It's a whole corner of interesting stuff. All the really cool bikes here get your attention, but stop and look at these cases. There's this bicycle pocket watches, early helmets. Kodak made a camera. There's a bicycle horn right there. And then there's, for some reason, medals and pipes, trophies. Over here we got early lanterns. There's a replica of the velocipede over there. And then something, a quadricycle. Just really interesting. So that's not what we usually mean by new in box. But this is how it was shipped. It's the original crate for a Shama Racing Safety. Now that is an ice bicycle with a sled on the front and then spikes on the back, and I guess you could ride it on frozen water. I try to avoid frozen water myself. Okay, the determined to get on the water was strong in somebody. You got a pedal and a rudder down there, flotation barrels up here. This is a water cycle, 1917, unknown maker. There's some oddities over here. Movie lovers will love this. This is Pee Wee Herman's Schwinn DX. And very whimsical. And then we got other Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Donald Duck. And this is all promotional brand identifiers. There's Schwinn Unicycle. There's Hop Along Cassidy. Ichi Kuwahara, a Japanese one, and a Star Wars Ewoks bike. Coca-Cola's got to put its name on something, or two. And wow, look at that, that's a Zip. And then another Elgin Robin shaft drive over here, more shaft drive. And up here in the top floor, they start with military applications bicycles. So these have guns on them and the ability to carry messages, cargo, and machine gun tandem tricycle. Pretty impressive thing. And over here, Columbia Model 43 military tandem. It's got a rifle and a couple of handguns on it. And we've got a paratrooper folding bicycle. Paratrooper's got a bike too, I guess. Columbia Model 40 military, dominated by a big gun. And over here, the Columbia Victory. saw that big wheel downstairs that you ride inside of from over 100 years ago. I thought people would have given up on that, but this is from 2008, and the Chinese had it in the Olympics. And it makes a glow when you ride it. It's a piece of technology, so it's dangerous to me. We've gotten into more modern things here. And nice Cannondale here, but that one caught my eye. Delta 7 Arantics. The frame is a carbon fiber and Kevlar mesh, and that frame weighs 2.5 pounds. Just amazing. And we have some modern electric bikes and powered cycles here, cruisers. They're all future antiques. We got a 19th century carriage over there, and a pedicab. That would have been a workout, I tell you. And a cargo bicycle. I love this idea. With a big cargo deck out front. Up here on the wall, a 1960 Bowden Space Lander, styled to take advantage of the craze of the space race at the time. It says only 522 of them were sold. It was kind of expensive. Not all that practical, but cool looking. There's a 1920s Meade Ranger up on the wall, carrying its battery for its headlamp up there. There's an Indian. This is a Wizard pacemaker. They're motor kits designed to be bolted onto a variety of different bikes. And Steffi, first company to make motor attachments in the U.S. with their first motors in 1900. There's a Harley Davidson over there. And here's an offering from Huffy, the Huffy radio bike. It carried tunes and a battery on the back. Considering that this place started with a Schwinn collection, I expected to see more Schwinns, but there's a group of them over here. Some vintage. Just tried a new Schwinn Black Phantom. That's the Schwinn section. It's a Schwinn Corvette. I get a picture of that from my neighbor Dave. Some of the older Schwinn things here. That's a Schwinn family tandem up on the wall. And there's a 5-place bicycle up there. I don't know how many is a crowd. And these are from Depression era, when the younger Schwinn took over a struggling company and making modern moves, turned it into something we know today. Walking around and looking at the outside of the room, I almost missed this. This is a Schwinn cotton picker. Filming it just for my brother Jim. Took his first ride on one, going the opposite direction of my other brother, who was on the Lemon Peeler, a yellow version of the same bike. They collided, and Jim got a broken leg. There's a grape crate. I don't see a lemon peeler. Up a little further around, and there it is. The lemon peeler, an apple crate, and around on this side, you get the Fritz 50 and an orange crate. And that one has a windshield. We saw one with a windshield before. So we're getting ready to leave. It's easy to miss stuff here. This is the Irish Mail. It's a toy, and children would sit on it and pump with their hands to transmit power to the back and steer the front wheels with their feet. So I was so distracted by the water bike that I didn't even notice that toy. And then this crazy thing here, this is, you get up on the seat and pedal, and it causes the legs underneath you to move, which there's a lot of dangerous things in this building, and I think that one tops the list. So we're about to leave and walked right past these on the way in. Really cool, a little metal wheel and then a rubber wheel tricycle, ball bearing wagon thing. I'm sure there's so much more here to see, but we're going to go have lunch. There's pilot and astronaut Neil Armstrong. Line of flight here from the two Frenchmen in a balloon, powered airship, heavier than air flight, aerial bombardment follows shortly after heavier than air flight. Neil was born in 1930. The Hindenburg blew up 7 years later. German V-2 rockets in the 40s. Neil's a naval aviator in the 50s.
47 was the first flight to break the sound barrier.
Mercury, 1961. So from the French guys in 1783 to Mercury missions in 61. Gemini, Apollo missions in 72. First on the moon, 69. Up to 1998, John Glenn went first flew at age 6. Korean War service, test pilot, astronaut, moon landing. Set records in that Learjet 28 they got outside.
5 aviation world records.
And died after heart surgery in 2012. Buried at sea.
We didn't do that, did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Both the Russians and the Americans sent dogs and monkeys into space. To abort in a Skylancer. There you go vertically and glide back. Oh, it's just as easy as that. There's the Skylancer cockpit. Got a Hasselblad camera, a field sequential color camera, a lunar surface television camera.
Need a tissue or are we okay?
Sojourner in 96, Spirit in 2003, Opportunity in 2004, Curiosity in 2012, Zhurong, a Chinese mission in 2021, and Perseverance in 2021. The campground's way down there. I've been walking Star here, Lake Loramie State Park. There's a bunch of water lilies that probably hold bass, so Sonia will be interested in that information. Star's just interested in smells, because she's a dog and does dog things. And then everywhere around here there's beautiful happy fields of corn. A lot of that's way taller than I am. I'm walking around the lake with Star still. The campground's just across the canal there. Our camper's down the way. Look at this. Maybe treat sponsored by McDonald's or something. Finishing up a little walk around the lake with Star here. They got a very patriotic footbridge here. Signs are looking a little bit tattered, but let's see. Eagle Scout Project of Dalton Trust. Walking with Star here on one of the trails around Lake Loramie State Park in Ohio. Slink, Star, slink. Yeah, there's a squirrel on the tree.